I am the Rico Bullful, and this is Uncut News. It looks like fire season has officially started in Guyana. Kicking it off was some unidentified jerk who attempted to set fire to the Umaniana early Sunday morning. But he was stopped by a quick-thinking security guard who was able to put out the blaze with the help of some nearby police officers. Unfortunately, the suspect escaped capture. Then on the East Coast, after guards raided the Lusignan prison for contraband, the aggrieved prisoners, now without their ganja, figured that the best way to express their grievances was to come together to write a well-worded letter that clearly defined why they were upset with the cruelties of the penal system and the need for more humane... I'm just kidding, folks. They burned the bloody place to the ground. At least 11 prisoners were injured after some geniuses thought that trying to burn their fellow inmates and themselves alive in a veritable tinderbox was a good idea. Fortunately, the joint services were quickly deployed to the facility to keep the peace while the fire service quelled the flames. The prison service has since rehoused the 284 displaced prisoners. Then, back to Georgetown, where the Ministry of Finance had a false alarm. The fire service arrived at the headquarters on Main Street yesterday afternoon to find the building was still intact. This false alarm comes weeks after a blocked sink on the second floor of the building caused flooding on the lower flat. Then, in Essequibo, a fire of unknown origin left one man homeless on Sunday morning. The fire completely destroyed the house of 27-year-old security guard Kumar Mohammed at Riverston, Essequibo Coast. Mohammed was at work at the time when the fire ignited, sometime between 6:30 and 8:30 a.m. An investigation is ongoing. Did you install a GPS tracker on your vehicle yet? You didn't? You have got to be stupidity Bill if you think you don't need it. Don't be a dunce. Call Triple B's Enterprise and get your GPS tracker installed for a one-time fee. The telephone number is 682-8326. Call them now. Going back to everyone's favourite political drama, this morning GCOM met to discuss the way forward after Lowenfield dropped yet another elections report with questionable numbers. As expected, the PPP-aligned commissioners were as angry as a pissed-off cobra and called for the removal of Lowenfield from the position. They want to replace him with GCOM's IT head Anil Giddens. But it seems like the chairman Singh has gotten tired of the whole game and has demanded that Lowenfield turns in a report using the recount numbers by 2:30 p.m. tomorrow, or the deputy CEO will do it. A Londoner returning from abroad has tested positive for the Rona, making her the 11th confirmed case from the mining town. But apparently Lyndon is not taking any chances with the Rona. REO for Region 10, Owen Gordon, said that he has asked the government to have all returning Londoners be tested on arrival and that they be institutionally quarantined rather than the mandatory 7-day home quarantine on arrival. According to Kaitro News, Finance Minister Winston Jordan on June 8th signed off on a US $14.6 million contract with the Islamic Development Bank for a hydropower project. The total cost of the project is US $16.59 million, to which Guyana must contribute US $1.95 million. The contract secures funds for the cost of construction and rehabilitation of 3 hydropower plants. That is Mukamuka and Kumu in Letum and Ikuribisi in Bartica. Take advantage of this business opportunity. Become a digital top-up vendor with Cellular Plus. Call them and find out about their special offer on telephone number 685-3109. Tell them Noriko gave you the number and that you want that sweet, sweet commission. On Friday, a former policewoman who was charged in 2018 for dousing her lover with acid was found guilty in the Georgetown Magistrates Court. 31-year-old Cassandra Butcher of Lot 5 School Street, Old Boys Town, Georgetown, denied the charge, which stated that on November 7th, 2018, at Camp Street in North Road, Georgetown, she unlawfully and maliciously wounded Anthony Paul with intent to maim, disfigure, or cause him grievous bodily harm. She was remanded to prison until July 16th for her sentencing hearing. Police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a so far unidentified male whose partially decomposed body was fished out of the Strathspey Canal, East Coast Demerara, on Monday at about 7:30 a.m. The body was shirtless, wearing a brown long pants and a red haversack with an identification card with the name Deshaun McLean. If this poor chap is your kin, the police said he can be found at Lycan's funeral home. Today, students began writing the CSEC and CAPE examinations, with the CXC being written from July 13th to August 4th, and CAPE from July 13th to the 31st. For CXC, there are 168 centers with 11,998 students registered to write that exam, while for CAPE, 851 candidates are registered to write at 15 centers across the country. Good luck, students! The test is already difficult, but I couldn't imagine having to write it in the middle of a pandemic. Now, let's go mind everyone's business in the region. While the Apnu AFC continues to desperately cling to power like a fat child does a piece of cake, Suriname has already elected a new president, thus bringing an end to the multi-decade reign of President Desi Bouterse. This morning, Chan Sanktoki was elected president and Ronnie Brunswick as vice president. The official transfer of power will take place on Thursday, allowing the country to move ahead with its change of government. The general elections in Suriname were held on May 25th, which basically means that the man who was literally convicted of murder and drug trafficking is less afraid to leave office than Guyana's current president. Amazing. In Jamaica, this morning, a 4.1 magnitude earthquake struck 10 kilometers northwest of Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth. The shaking was felt in sections of Kingston and St. Andrew. There have been no reports of serious injuries or fatalities. You there, flatfoot hustler! Don't you think it's time you stop ride bicycle? BM Soat has fresh stocks coming every week. You don't have to be rich, you just need to be employed to qualify for their in-house financing. And you can be on your way to impress your friends. Visit their showroom at Lot 9 Crow Street, Georgetown, or call them on telephone number 231-8451. BM Soat Auto Sales, it's your turn to drive. Now for our weird news story of the day. This one is for all you gamers out there looking to make some extra money. An unopened box of the classic 1985 Nintendo NES game Super Mario Bros. Has been sold for $114,000 in an auction on Friday. The event was hosted by Heritage Auctions in the US city of Dallas, Texas. It is believed that this is the highest amount ever paid for that particular game. The video game was part of a collection of games from the 1980s and 90s that sold to various buyers for nearly $700,000 in total. Other titles auctioned off include Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, a 1987 video game based on the former heavyweight boxing champion that sold for $50,400. Hit the like button if you're about to go raid your living room for some rare video games. Moving on to our Uncut News viewers poll question. Every day, we will post a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. You give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Friday's question was, should the Gpf be reformed? This one was a popular one, so we'll just read just a few answers. Anthony Gibbons said, a reform is needed badly. We need the kind of reform that not only trains and provides better resources to our Gpf, but most importantly, weed out the current thorns that exist both top and bottom. Change the selection process from hiring every young boy to hiring career-minded people, increase the acceptance age so more mature, educated, and sounded-minded individuals can apply. Nicola Harding said, yes, I think so, but it's been reformed so many times already and the same thing keeps happening. We need to tackle the corruption first, but the big question is how we do it. It all leads back to the government. If we have a corrupt government, then we will have a corrupt police force. And finally, Tech Show says, the GPF needs pace-setting leaders, a leader that leads by example. When one at the top does the right thing, the others will follow, and this is how the GPF should reform, by its leaders setting examples by doing the right things. It seems like everyone agrees, without tackling corruption at all levels, no reform can come. Great responses, people. Tonight, we're doing things a little different. Since it looks like our favourite political soap opera is soon coming to an end, I have to ask, what is the biggest issue you feel the next administration should tackle first, and why? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good, we just might feature it in Tuesday's episode. That's all the time we have for tonight. Come back tomorrow. I am Noriko Bullford saying good night, folks. Hey Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.